Hey guys, this is Frozen Things Studios here, and welcome back to another movie review with John Wick Chapter 4 coming to theaters pretty much today in the US, and I'll be seeing it on Sunday. Time for me to review all the John Wick films, pretty much the first three films leading up to John Wick Chapter 4, starting with the one that started all, the first John Wick movie. So John Wick came out in the year 2014 and is directed by Chad Stahelski and stars Keanu Reeves, William Dafoe, and John Leguizamo, Ian McShane, Lance Reddick. Rest in peace to Lance Reddick, by the way. And a bunch of cast that I don't really know who they are. And basically, the plot for John Wick tells the story of this ex hitman who is retired, and lives with his dog. His wife is killed, and then and he receives a gift from his wife after his death, which is a dog so John can find new meaning, like this dog had to be something special to John, because this dog would like what I said earlier, just said like allow John to find new help John find new meaning to life. But then a bunch of gangsters, Russian gangsters, took his car and killed his dog. Like took everything that he had left in his life, and so he comes out of retirement to become the assassin he once was, to track down the gangsters that took his life away. Basically. So John Wick is pretty much a movie that came out of nowhere, and no one knew what to expect from it. People were like, it looked like just another generic action movie based on what people said. Personally, to me, I had no idea about this movie. I actually never saw it until 2019 and something, 2018 or 19, like I think 19, I remember. But I always knew about John Wick. My dad is a massive Keanu Reeves fan. It's probably his second favorite actor of all time, with number one being Tom Cruise. Like he loves both action stars, and so of course he saw John here. Like my dad then took my mom to see John Wick in theaters back in 2014, because he also said that people said was really good. And yeah, I knew nothing about John Wick at the time. Yeah, my mom's not really a fan. My mom's actually not really a fan of John Wick. She says she thinks that John Wick is an overrated franchise. I know a certain user would agree with my mom about that. You probably know who I'm talking about. Yeah, yes. She said the first one was fine, but she hates John Wick 2 and 3, and yeah, she's not gonna watch 4. No surprise. My mom is actually work. Mom's gonna be at work with me. My dad, and my brother watch John Wick Chapter 4 this Sunday. Yeah, John Wick is a film that came out of nowhere and really surprised moviegoers by how good this was. Yeah, a lot of people really loved it, and it was such a very small and simple film. Just a very simple action film with a very simple plot that would ultimately become like a really big franchise in the future that still remain consistent throughout. And yeah, and now we're at the fourth John Wick movie, and every John Wick movie just is a masterpiece. And to me personally, I think each John Wick movie gets better and better. But of course, well, I'll save all of that when I review the second and third film. And yeah, so by the way, before I talk about why this movie is really good, I will just say that I won't say much about this movie because I'm recording this review at the time when I'm about to go to work. Today is my last day of my work internship. So I won't be able to spend. I won't spend a lot of time by talking about John Wick. I was supposed to review it last night after review watching it on Netflix, but I couldn't really get around to it. I didn't have time, so now here I am, reviewing John Wick. And by the way, yes, all the John Wick movies are on Netflix in my local area. I don't think it's in US Netflix, but yeah. But now let's talk about John Wick, because I gotta say this right now. I think John Wick is a fantastic action movie, and I think this is a near flawless movie. Now, I will say that there are a couple of nitpicks I have. Like there is one minor nitpick I have in the movie, and that is the first 15 minutes. I would say the first 15 minutes of the movie does kind of drag a bit. Like it's a bit slow. But but it's just 50 minutes of the movie, and it's just a minor part that dragged. It's just a minor part, I can't really criticize it because a lot of important stuff happens. A lot of stuff that really build up to not just this film but the entire franchise itself. Like how like like that scene where this where when a major gangster like asks John about his car and looks at his dog and so that scene really led him to take away John's car and dog and that's where the franchise begins and yeah and this movie's essentially 1 hour and 40 minutes long. I think it should have been like longer, like 2 hours. I think that's another nitpick I would give. Like this movie should have been like 15 to 20 minutes longer, but again, it doesn't really affect. Let me just say this right now that I think this movie is a lot better than I expected. Yeah, this movie is a lot better than I remember seeing it. Like seeing, but yeah, I think what makes John Wick so great is the action. Everyone knows that action is my favorite genre, so no surprise I would praise the action in this movie as well. Because yeah, this movie has literally non-stop action. I mean, this movie would put more action. The plot. This movie has a lot of action, but at the same time, it has a lot of substance to it. Like this movie is essentially about John Wick trying to get revenge on the on people who stole his life. So of course, everything this movie does have a purpose. Usually with this big non-stop action movies, people would complain about how the action scenes are just very meandering and meaningless. But with these John Wick films, every single action moment always has a purpose. There's a reason why John Wick is fighting and to get revenge, and it really shows. I think John Wick himself is Keanu Reeves' best performance in my opinion. I mean, you really see his passion towards his character. I love Keanu as Neo. In fact, I still think I love Keanu Reeves as Neo. In fact, I still think that The Matrix is the best Keanu Reeves movie. I mean, like the first Matrix, but actually, I think both John Wick and Neo are tied as the best Keanu Reeves role. But acting wise, I think John Wick is on a whole new level of performance, and you really feel bad for John Wick when he lost everything he loved, and like from his wife to his dog. I mean, you really feel his grief. You really feel his emotion, and feel his emotion, and you really feel him like really wanting to get revenge on the life that he lost, like the things he loved, like the last of the things he loved, which is car and dog. Yeah, car and dog are very crucial to this franchise because it's what led him to let this whole franchise to happen. I said that many times, but yeah, I really don't have much to say. I think the villains are underrated. Some people say the villains are underdeveloped, but I think the villains were well developed. I mean, yeah, sure, the villains have no motivation, but I think they're very memorable. And yeah, they're among the like, and they're not among my favorite John Wick movies. To me personally, I think John Wick Chapter 3 had the weakest John Wick villain. But again, the villain's really good. But it's still really good. I think John Wick has some really underrated villains in my opinion. My favorite John Wick villain is in John Wick Chapter 2. Like there's two villains. What yeah, my favorite John Wick villain is in the second film, but I'll talk more about this villain when I review John Wick Chapter 2. But yeah, my favorite scene in this movie is the nightclub scene. And yeah, I mean, I love every single action scene. The final battle is epic as well with the car chase and stuff. And just I also like that female character Mrs. Something I forgot her name, but wait oh yeah, Mrs. Perkins, yeah. Yeah, I also that scene where Mrs. Perkins attacked John Wick. I think Mrs. Perkins is my favorite of the villains in this movie. Like I didn't I always forget that she was actually a villain. She's actually like a major antagonist in this movie. Like whenever I see her and rewatch this movie, I forget that she's a villain. So it really gets surprising when she comes out as a villain. But my favorite action scene in this movie, my favorite moment is the nightclub scene when this really one long action scene of John Wick just shooting people, like fighting people at the club, and with such a killer soundtrack. I love that scene. In fact, I rewatched that one scene multiple times when John Wick is trying to chase the killer for his dog. Since he was there at the club, but then he had killed hundreds of I mean hundreds of people in that scene, and it's epic. Also, there's a certain part of that fight scene that reminded me of John Wick, of the fight club in the Batman. Even though this one came first, but yeah, but my favorite character in this movie is Gil, played by William Dafoe. But I know I might be biased saying that because William Dafoe is the Green Goblin, but I think William Dafoe is a standout, and I wish he was in the John Wick. I wish William Dafoe was in the John Wick sequence, but oh well. He, I'm okay with him not being in them. So overall, John Wick is an amazing movie. I think this movie is a masterpiece, and I will say this movie is an honor. Sadly, this movie can't really make my top 10 favorite movies of 2014 list because of a few nitpicks. I think they were just better movies in 2014. 2014 is one of the greatest years for movies, like easily top 5, and this movie is just in the top 15. But I would say John Wick is just it, it's such a surprise. Who knew that this movie would be amazing and would spawn a franchise this big of a franchise that would be considered as the most as one of the greatest action franchises of all time. Franchises of all time. As an action fan, I'm happy we get something like this. So yeah, I'm gonna give John Wick a 10 out of 10. A low 10 out of 10 that one. I think this is one of the weakest 10 out of 10 movies in my opinion. But yeah, but it's still amazing, and also it gets better from here. So that's all for my review of John Wick. What is your opinion on this movie? Comment down below, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and stay tuned for my review of the sequels that definitely gets better from there. Bye, guys.